Me in it. Good. Okay, I want to explain a chiropractic philosophy versus medical philosophy here. Just as a continuum here, we have 100% life over here. This is your body functioning at its best. And then we have 0% life over here, also known as death. Now, real quick, there's no way you can possibly be 100% life. It's impossible. By the time you're in the mother's womb, there's already 287 chemicals at minimum that can pass into the placenta. So there's no possible way, with the amount of pollution, with the amount of stress mom's under these days, the genetic degradation over the years, there's no possible way you can be this. But you try to get close to that as much as possible. Just look at this theoretically, if you will. Now, I want to start with one malfunctioning cell. Let's start off with one malfunctioning cell. You have a heart cell that's malfunctioning. Well, that's some type of dysfunction here. But one heart cell ain't going to matter if it's dysfunctioning. As a matter of fact, 200, 1,000, probably 1,000,000 won't even matter if they're not functioning properly. But if you have a couple million maybe heart cells, now you're starting to see symptoms. Symptoms, something like heart palpitations, something like that. So at that point, the general medical philosophy would say you go get some type of medication to deal with this. Now, if you take any type of petrochemical, it doesn't matter what it is, where will it move you on this chart? Will it move you more towards life or more towards death? Every time you take any chemical, of course, it's going to take you more towards death. Now, so now your symptoms, you're taking medication here, and you keep going down to the point till you get to a full-blown disease, heart disease, degenerative disc disease, arthritis, Hashimoto's thyroiditis. It doesn't matter what it is, but now you have a diagnosed disease. And what are some of the things that we do here? Of course, if you're in the medical philosophy, you're going to use more medication at this point, or they're going to radiate it, or they're going to ablage and burn it out, or they're going to do something to cut it out. That anytime you take out an organ, burn an organ, cause trauma to the body, chemically poison the body, it's always going to take you towards death. So that's why once you get into the medical paradigm here with disease, you're on your way down. Now, chiropractic is very different. Our goal is not dealing with symptoms nor treating symptoms. Symptoms to us are just to show us, for instance, the body is malfunctioning for some time. When you have a couple heart cells malfunctioning, that's where we would like to see you, or whatever it is, your thyroid, something, before you even know what's happening. So how do we know this? Anytime there's interference to the nervous system, there will always be some type of dysfunction. Why? Because every organ, every gland, everything you think is all caused by the nervous system. The nervous system is that important. It controls everything. So, if you have a couple cells malfunctioning and you come to a chiropractor and we see nerve interference, well, let's get that corrected. So anytime you reduce the amount of nerve interference in the body, which is the cause of function, where is that going to take you? Towards death or towards life? Towards life. That's why we check you here. Long before you start to develop back pain or disc degeneration or heart disease or herniated discs when you're going to end up in surgery. That's the medical paradigm. Now, why is this so great? Because this allows children also who are relatively healthier than adults generally because their bodies have not had the chance to develop symptoms. Well, children, the reason why they get adjusted is because we can detect any type of nerve interference long before they have symptoms. For instance, a 1-year-old that's fallen on her butt trying to learn how to walk, well, that could subluxate the sacrum. And anytime you subluxate the sacrum, those nerves innervate the ovaries. And if you're 1-year-old, of course, you're not going to have menstrual issues, but by the time you're 12, 13, 14, when you get to menstrual cycles, now the ovaries are making too much estrogen because there's nerve interference going into the ovaries. And of course, now you start the heavy menses, painful menses. Now drag this on a couple more years when you have an elevated estrogen level that's causing these problems. Now you get to a point of disease and endometriosis or infertility, or even, for instance, cervical cancer or breast cancer, which also are correlated with elevated hormone levels, estrogen levels. So that's why it's so important for kids to get seen long before they develop things, because it's always easier to keep kids healthy instead of trying to fix sick adults.